Thank you, Arun. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm delighted to participate in the Europe-India40 Leaders List announcement ceremony today and say a word about the current EU-India economic and trade relations. But first of all, I would like to congratulate the select group of young entrepreneurs. You have been chosen because of your outstanding performance and skills, and you will be part of the entrepreneurs shaping the economic development in our both regions, contributing to a more prosperous, wealthy, and a more green society. As you know, the biggest challenge of our today's world is mitigating climate change, and as importantly, its impacts. Greenhouse gases, air and water pollution do not stop at borders. Our leaders in Glasgow at the COP26 recognized the fact climate change and biodiversity loss cannot be tackled by one country alone. Both the EU and India are keen on leading in the area of climate change and the clean energy transition, and on strengthening our bilateral cooperation. When it comes to trade and investment, they cannot be seen in isolation of this global challenge of mitigating climate change. It is crucial for our future and the future of our children and grandchildren to make our global supply chains more green and more resilient, also in view of global pandemics. We need to focus our collective endeavors in building a new economic paradigm towards a greener, more digital and resilient future. A greener future is a challenge, but also an opportunity for economies. The philosophy of the Green Deal is we must achieve growth and jobs through the protection of the environment, dropping unsustainable patterns from production supply chain more sustainable. Business, including small and medium enterprises, are called to develop innovative green and sustainable solutions. In like the partnerships on clean energy and climate, circular economy, as well as smart and sustainable urbanization, which will all bring opportunities for especially on both sides. Trade and investment is an important pillar of the EU and India relationship that has been growing consistently. Bilateral trade currently is close to 100 billion euros, while EU investment accounts for 11% of total investment flows into India last year. However, given the size of our respective economies, the untapped potential is much more in both trade and investment. A comparison of EU's investment in India with that of Brazil corroborates this point. EU investment in Brazil is more than 4 times that of investment in India. There is definitely more than that we can do. But here we also have to acknowledge that our bilateral trade suffers from a number of trade and investment barriers which may have impeded EU-India trade and investment ties reaching its. It is therefore our mutual interest to further strengthen the EU-India bilateral economic and trade relations and address the existing market access issues collectively. The package of outcomes at our leaders' meeting in May this year reflect the importance of this relation. At that meeting in May, first, our leaders decided to resume the negotiations for a balanced ambitious, comprehensive, and mutually beneficial trade agreement. As an important condition, both sides will also seek to address long-standing market access issues ahead of resuming negotiations. Second, our leaders agreed to launch negotiations on a standalone investment protection agreement. The EU is one investor in India. Agreed send a signal to global investors, assuring them of certainty and policy. As the third point, we also start nation with the group geographical indications. Fourth, namely that we believe in strong multilateral and rules-based trading system. Therefore, I'm particularly happy that our leaders agreed to set up an India-EU senior official dialogue to deepen bilateral cooperation on WTO issues. Fifth, we agreed to create joint working groups to deepen our engagement on regulatory creation, including green and digital technologies and on resilient supply chains, to also build on the experience we have gained from the COVID pandemic. All these working groups serve as an important platform to address our businesses face from both and to further strengthen the European is now towards implementing initiatives. This is considerable preparatory work in consultations with our member states, with our industry and businesses. And unleashing the full potential of EU-India bilateral trade relationship, particularly needed now, in the wake of the COVID, when issues pertaining to security and global supply chains have come to the fore. The EU and India can work together in this respect as like democracies. In fact, the evolving scenario left by shifting supply chains presents an opportunity for European companies and Indian companies to explore new business perspectives. However, India isn't alone in offering an alternative manufacturing base. India will have to compete with other regional players who are also looking for a share in shifting supply chains, and this also applies to Europe. For us to fully tap that potential, a transparent and predictable regulatory and business environment is a crucial element, not only to attract investment, but to retain it year after year. And finally, I would like to say a word about another key sector I see, namely India partnership in the strategy future. In this context, I would like to mention the high-level EU-India Digital Investment Forum planned to occur in the coming months. The EU-India Task Force on Artificial Intelligence, collaboration on quantum performance computing, other virtual. To sum up, there is tremendous potential in EU-India economic and trade relations. The EU-India leaders meeting allowed us to agree on the prior and enforcement. The time is right, and we need to seize the opportunity for this renewed momentum. India and EU now need to work together to emerge stronger and better from the current challenges. Thank you very much for your attention, and happy Diwali to everyone.